In this video, we talk about 5 common foods that, when reheated improperly, may increase exposure to harmful compounds, especially for adults over 60.
Last week, I shared a video about reheated foods, and that conversation clearly struck a nerve.
Because so many people watched and shared and asked for more. Today, we are continuing that discussion because your comments made one thing very clear. This is not just a random topic. People are genuinely curious about what happens to food after it has been cooked.
And the truth is, this topic deserves more attention than it usually gets.
When I started looking deeper, some of the examples I found were surprising, not because they are rare, but...
Now let me be clear from the start. This video is not here to scare you. The goal is simple, to encourage awareness.
What makes this topic worth discussing is that most people focus only on what they eat, but much less attention is given to what happens after cooking.
What happens when food sits in the fridge? These are practical questions that affect everyday life, and they are often ignored.
Leftovers are convenient and useful. Still, convenience should go hand in hand with safe handling and informed choices.
When it comes to enjoying your leftovers, remember to explore safely. Thoughtful choices in your kitchen ensure every meal is a good one.
And now we arrive at the final part, a strong ending. Turn information into perspective and perspective into action.
We started with cooking oil. Repeated heating can change something people often ignore.
Moved into mushrooms. Even foods with a healthy image still depend on how they are handled after cooking.
Processed meats, where the discussion felt heavier, broader public health concerns. Beetroot, which challenged assumptions, even foods praised in wellness culture.
Stir fries and mixed vegetable dishes. Most personal, responsible, practical, and healthy.
Making the most of our leftovers is one of the easiest everyday habits we can adopt. Small changes really do add up.
A more thoughtful approach. Cook what you need. Store carefully. Reheat with intention. Simple habits.
This content is meant for awareness, not diagnosis. Trusted guidance still matter.
Eat with awareness, cook with intention, and store with care. Small habits shape the big picture.
We've got the pan hot, but now let's talk about the stars of the dish. These beautiful mushrooms. We have button, cremini, and these gorgeous shiitakes.
Shifts from something people already suspect to something many viewers would normally place in the healthy category. Nutrient-rich foods, smart choice, and a balanced diet.
This is a smart transition. Creates trust and suspense. Praise first, so they lower their guard.
Not bad, but then the script pivots. The issue is not mushrooms themselves, but what may happen after they are cooked, left sitting, and reheated. Context matters.
Once mushrooms are cooked, left out too long, or stored carelessly, quality may change. Reheating does not magically return them.
Tied to time, temperature, and storage. Viewers can relate to that everyday kitchen situation very easily.
Have your body truly gut and fluid cells?
There are some concerns about storage and reheating, so make sure to follow trusted guidelines and consult health professionals if needed.
Mushrooms are best enjoyed fresh. Leftovers, cooled and stored properly, reheated carefully only when necessary.
Remember, thoughtful habits ensure the best flavor. Store and reheat mindfully to enjoy fresh meals every time.
While visually appealing, these processed options, the bacon, the sausages, the deli ham, carried significant health considerations we must address.
Connects instantly with everyday life. Almost everyone has seen these foods. Familiar, convenient, tied to routine.
They have lived it. Cooked extra bacon, reheated sausages, reached for leftovers, saved time, and felt normal.
The evidence suggests there is, in fact, another layer to consider when consuming these meats.
More persuasive. Moves from familiar warning, specific habit, reheated again later and again through the week.
Sense of repetition, not one meal, habit as the issue. Few strips today, more tomorrow. Rhythm gives emotional weight, ordinary behavior newly important.
To ensure the safety of our community, particularly around public health issues, we must always consult trusted sources and practice mindful habits.
If someone chooses moderation, careful preparation, not automatic habit, smaller portions, gentler heat, more fresh whole foods, common sense.
Keep script consistent, pushes story forward, natural, grounded, highly.
Remember, it's about balance. Choose mindfully, because moderation really does matter when we are building better habits together.
And after talking about processed meats, another smart turn does not stay with food's warning list, shifts back, clearly healthy column, that is beetroot.
You might think you know beetroot, but the real question is, are we finally ready to discover its true potential?
Beetroot has a strong health image associated with fitness, heart health, and circulation.
Create strong contrast between expectation and concern. One of the most powerful writing techniques. Keeps audience emotionally.
Does not begin by attacking. Begins by respecting why people value it. Widely appreciated, sounds more balanced and more believable.
Carefully shifts focus toward what may happen after preparation. The issue is not food fresh properly served, but the possibility of repeated handling or reheating.
For questions about cooked veggie handling, remember to follow general food safety. And please, consult the pros for any personal concerns you might have.
Distinction. Benefits from being practical rather than purely alarming suggest simpler idea. Enjoy beets.
Why this beetroot section matters so much in Flow expands conversation beyond foods people already distrust.
Context changes everything. Mindful after prep. Fresh or cold, it's always best.
Almost everyone understands the appeal of cooking a large pan of vegetables once and then saving the rest for later. Meal prep has a healthy image. It saves time, reduces stress, and helps people avoid takeout during a busy week.
But when we reheat, something changes.
Repeated reheating may affect quality, taste, and condition, especially at high heat. Maybe some dishes are better eaten fresh, maybe some are better gently warmed only once. Maybe some work well cold the next day with a fresh finishing touch.
Healthy eating isn't just choosing veggies. It's also how we cook, store, and reheat them.
Because without that bigger perspective, the entire message can feel too heavy, too absolute, and too focused on fear.
This next section matters because it changes the energy. It's no longer about any one ingredient, it's about pattern.
Do not be overwhelmed, but do pay attention. This is not about panic from one reheated meal.
It's oil, mushrooms, processed meats, beetroot stir-fries. On the surface, they're different. But the real instimbosis. Long-term health is shaped by many factors. Overall diet, lifestyle, food handling, and guidance from
The takeaway isn't throwing everything away or becoming anxious at the fridge. Small adjustments matter. Better storage.
This is where the script becomes more useful than dramatic. After raising those questions, it can't leave you with worry. It has to offer direction.
The most effective part is focusing on small adjustments, not extreme rules. Start with fresh oil when you can. Cook only what you need.
Freshly cooked is better whenever possible. Not because leftover are forbidden, but because quality starts highest.
Instead of just warnings, here are alternatives. Cold beet salads, gentle reheating for some dishes, smaller portions when prepping ahead.
These are general food handling ideas to support awareness and everyday decisions. Individual needs differ. Trusted food safety.
If it was only warnings, it could feel like alarm. But pairing every concern with a practical choice makes it balanced and useful.
Plants. The entire video becomes less a list of dangers and more a guide to being thoughtful with the food on your plate.
And that naturally leads to the next question the audience is asking. What about storage? What happens in the hours between cooking and reheating?
This makes the discussion feel real, but it's no longer just ingredients or cooking. It's the full life cycle of a meal.
People understand leftovers, putting food away after dinner, opening the fridge the next day, warming it up. This section brings the big health talk down to simple household habits.
How food is stored matters just as much as what food. It's not only heat, it's time, temperature, handling, and routine.
General food safety advice emphasizes prompt refrigeration, clean storage containers, and thorough reheating.
Up to now, it's been curiosity and concern. Now it's control and prevention. Better storage habits reduce avoidable.
This section bridges attention-grabbing examples to real kitchen behavior. Food safety isn't.
And now we arrive at the final part, where everything comes together. A strong ending turns.
We started with cooking oil and repeated heating, moved to mushrooms and handling, processed meats with heavier concerns.
The kitchen is full of small decisions that feel insignificant in the moment, but become meaningful over time.
A thoughtful approach doesn't require perfection. No throwing everything away.
Service. This content is for awareness and general education, not diagnosis or medical instruction. Individual needs vary. This ending brings curiosity, caution, practicality, and perspective together. Health is shaped not just. So the final message: eat with awareness, cook with intention, store with care, and don't underestimate small, consistent habits.